Hey everybody, let me get set up here real quick. See if anybody wants to pop in today. Let me know how I'm looking. It's still kind of chilly out here. I don't know how long I'll be on live today. I don't want it to get too cold or too chilly. Looks kind of sideways. Does that look better? Looks a little bit better. Anyways, see if anybody wants to pop in this morning. See how this night before it gets too dark. That's kind of an introduction. I get that in my head when I go on Instagram. I'm like, how we doing this morning? Anyways, I see somebody popped in. How you doing? What's your scent of the day? Anyways, I tested a whole bunch of things. I don't even remember what I wore today. I've been testing like 10 or more things. It gets crazy. I actually wore a bunch of Happy Land fragrances yesterday. And, I tried like four of them. And then I decided to test like five other fragrances. And I think I gave myself a headache. And I was really tired because they're strong performers. Those Happy Lands are extrait to parfums, and I had like four sprays of those. I mean, in total, four fragrances, and and then like five other fragrances, and I could smell that stuff. I don't know. It was like 12 hours. I was like blown away. Fragrance Central says, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. I'm doing good today. I'm not blown out with fragrances, but I did try to take it easy. But I did smell a lot and test a lot. I'm trying to get my giveaway together. I'm putting together, not away. I'm putting together a big giveaway for y'all. So I've been kind of rushing to do even more reviews than I've been normally doing, and because I want to put a bunch of things together for that giveaway. And some of it's mixed of stuff that I've been given for review, and a bunch of the stuff also is stuff that I paid for. So it's going to be a lot of stuff, and I don't know how big the next one will be in the future, but this it'll be pretty big. I'm going to have four things together, four different giveaways, and I'm not here promoting like, oh, y'all jumped on my live and y'all want to hear about a giveaway, so join my channel. That's not what we're here about. We're a fragrance family, and y'all are loyal people who love my channel, and you're here, so I just want to give y'all a heads up that I'm working on my giveaway video. And I don't know how many people got involved and mentioned it, but I'm also going to do my a video about my collection, show my whole collection to y'all. Some of y'all are big fragrance lovers and enthusiasts. Some of y'all have hundreds of fragrances, even 500 fragrances. I think there's some people out there might even have more than that. But I am just a humble guy. I don't have. I'm not a huge earner. I don't have my own business yet, so I have 60 odd fragrances and lots of oils and lots of odd fragrances here and there. I give away fragrances to friends and family a lot, the things I don't like, and I sell things off. Recently, I sold a big bundle of fragrances to a fragrance lover. Somebody actually started really liking my channel. He just got into the game, and they were cheapies to begin with, and most of them were like 80% full or more, and I sold them. Sold they were used, but I sold them like 50% off or less, and I threw in tons of samples and stuff. He got a crazy deal. He knows that I treated him right for sure. So, scent of the day is Hummer 2, Hummer fragrances. I wonder how that one is. I don't know if I've tried that one. I've seen the Hummer knives. That's kind of interesting. Does Jeep make a fragrance? Does every car brand make a fragrance? That's interesting. I'm excited to see what Ferrari's going to come out with next. Ferrari, the new Essence line, the Bright Neroli, and all those fragrances. They did a lot better last time with their new line. They did a lot better. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to do even better, and maybe will make their fragrances even a little bit higher end and a little bit more expensive. I don't think that'd be a negative thing. If I mean, I can respect a car brand fragrance. Some people out there might think that's corny, but I don't think so. Just Dior, Guerlain, and a lot of these brands used to be like big, you know, clothes companies, like fashion companies. And why is a fashion company more reputable who makes a high end fragrance line? Why are they more reputable than a luxury car brand? It doesn't make sense to me. I think just about anybody who has a name, has a good brand, and symbolizes something, represents something in a big way, can come out blazing with something beautiful. So, let me see here. Everybody's popping in. Incense is in the house, not wearing anything. Hey, that's fine. Sometimes you don't want to wear a fragrance. Sometimes you want to take it easy. Honestly, I don't. It might not even be healthy to wear a fragrance every single day, especially if you wear a lot of fragrances. I have always about half of the time, like 50-50, sprayed on clothes. Some people think it's a really bad thing to spray on clothes. Since some people say it's not a good thing, you kind of tend to get a little bit less projection and the longevity is a little bit better on clothes. Lots of people talk about, spraying a jacket with a heavy winter fragrance like a leather jacket, and then they come back and they can smell it 2 weeks later. There's a reason for that. I mean, they were using a super strong fragrance to begin with, and then they sprayed clothes. So it sticks around on clothes, and I kind of like it. And sometimes people remember your clothes by, you with your fragrance, with your smell. So I think that's a fun thing. I kind of get exhausted if I wear fragrances every day of the week on my skin personally, but everybody's different. Anyways, Jared, Quintana's in the house. Yo, my friend. Yo, yo, yo. Did I say yo fast enough? It says nice jacket, and you're a handsome devil. Oh, thank you, my friend. That's a big compliment. I try to be sharp, and I don't know what the trendy words are these days. It used to be dandy, then it was like fly. I don't even know what it is these days, but I try to be, my friend. Thank you. I still need to work out and get myself a little bit more trim, but I'm doing pretty good overall. Today I don't know, I was a little bit tired, so I'm happy I'm looking good. So, you smells good. What's up, Ben? Scent of the day is Dior Amour. Hey, you smells good. It's good to see you, man. Whack pack over here for sure, my friend. It's good to see you. I know that you're all into that Guerlain, and you know it all, man. I want to see more of your videos about those Guerlains. There's so many fragrances out there, so many houses, and every single time I look at you, somebody like you who knows Guerlain, and people out there who know certain fragrances, it makes you sit back. It's like there are so many fragrances from so many houses that haven't been reviewed, even the big name houses, the big name brands, and they still have fragrances, especially from the past, that there are no YouTube videos on, YouTube yet. And it makes you sit back and think because there's so many undiscovered brands and fragrances, and there's always new things popping up. It's like, if you want to, it's like a never ending ocean of fragrance. I think it's fun, but if you can get overwhelmed if you think you have to try everything, but you don't have to. Pick and choose what you like, is what I say. Um, Jared says scent of the day is Terre d'Hermes. Fantastic choice. I've always respected Terre d'Hermes. I think it's a big top seller. That's what I hear. And it's always been a great fragrance. It has a very nice, classy vibe. It's a great gentleman's fragrance. It has a great vetiver kind of smell to it, kind of green, kind of classy. Has, of course, that signature orange. And it's a little bit floral as well. Kind of has some geranium going on. And that Terre d'Hermes is great stuff. For the longest time, I don't want to blind buy it because I don't know if I'll like it, but I just need to go get the Parfum version. I just need to go for it. I love the Outre's Fresh the best personally. It's a lot more citrusy. It's a lot more bright. It kind of is molecule-like. It doesn't smell bad like synthetic, but you can tell that there is a molecule-like vibe. It's because in the dry down there's a darn lot of ISOE Super. There's no denying it, but it smells nice to me, and for some reason it works. It gets compliments, and it's a darn good fragrance. So Outre's Fresh. I'm going to start talking about that one a little bit soon. So, Beauty Meow has probably the most impressive collection I've seen on YouTube. I haven't seen a video of her collection, but I wouldn't be amazed. Some of these fantastic people, Beauty Meow's a fantastic lady. They have amazing collections. They've been in the game for so long, and they collect. I was watching Mr. Cologne on Instagram, and Mr. Cologne just moved, I think, and he built a whole new setup. And it looks beautiful. He has an amazing collection. He has so many fragrances, and he has like I don't know, 10 of the crop fragrances. There's a niche brand called like Crop, and their bottles are like upside down, and those are expensive fragrances. And I want to try all of those. I've only tried a couple, and their bottles are very pretty. And just like that alone, I mean, it's so much money. I don't have a huge budget, so I'm just like blown away. But it is nice. There's so many fragrance lovers and with different taste. The two that I tried from Crop I didn't love, but to me it's just impressive to see that because that alone, 10 bottles of Crop, that's like $300. I mean $3,000 plus just in Crop fragrances, and that was a very small portion of what he had. So Mercedes-Benz cologne is great. Found it at Ross the other day. Fantastic. Mercedes-Benz, I've heard that a lot of their flankers are really nice. I haven't got my nose on too many. Is that the cologne version? I think that is the one that's supposed to be kind of smells. It's supposed to smell kind of similar to Dior Homme cologne, if I remember right. I think that's the one. It kind of has that gradient, like light blue bottle. Anyways, people have told me and suggested that I need to buy that one and I need to try it. People keep telling me I need to go for it, and I might just have to blind buy it. Dior Homme Cologne smells really nice, and it would be nice to get a adaptation for cheaper, and if it lasted a tiny bit longer, that'd be really nice. Um, Mercedes Benz is just not a house that I've jumped into. When Bentley Man Intense, Bentley for Man Intense was had a lot of hype. I got a bottle of that and it was really nice, but I get kind of picky. I found a patchouli fragrance I like more, but it's a great fragrance. It's a great value for money. It is a great fragrance as far as cheapies go. Where do you live? It looks really nice where you are. Well, I like to be a little bit private. A lot of people ask me. I guess a lot of people are from the city, or a lot of people maybe live in more of a desert. I live in the south. I live near the Gulf Coast. I live a little bit closer to where like Daver lives, and some of those guys over there at Fragrance Bros, and some of these guys, Trace Sense, and all those guys live pretty close. And I need to get out there in the wide world. I'm trying to get a better financial footing so I can actually travel and actually do more things that I want to in my life. But I live in a forest. Some of these areas around here are considered subtropical. It does look beautiful. Around here is kind of spring compared to a lot of places in the world. But a lot of people, they talk about how nice it is, but you have to take into consideration all the other things that a lot of people like in the city might consider big negatives. Mosquitoes. We have wildlife. I mean, real wildlife. There's snakes if you go out there. There's possums. My parents keep some raccoons sometimes, and we had a wild one, like an old one. Kind of like it nicknamed. They're kind of nicknamed the old men of the forest. When they become kind of gray, they become really aggressive. It's if you've ever read the book Where the Red Fern Grows. I kind of live back in the day out in the woods, and they're always watching and they're so fast. It kept us up like 3 or 4 nights, and it was killing our chickens off. And we finally got it one night, but that thing was fast and sly and sneaky and silent. And it was a raccoon, but it was a vicious little creature. Um, it killed all of our chickens except one. But anyways, sorry about the rant. You smells good, but hopefully I helped you a little bit. Anthony says hi. Hey Anthony, how you doing? Jared says, "Yep, it's like Dior Homme Cologne, but really affordable." I'll have to try that one. I've heard very good things about it. I really respect a fragrance that can last a good amount of time, smells good. If it's affordable, $30 range, 25, 30, 35 bucks. I think a lot of people that's what they're looking for. They're looking for something that doesn't cost too much. $40 or less feels really good to a lot of people. If they can get 7, 8 hours of performance out of it, if it smells pretty good, I think that's where a lot of people are happy. For a lot of people out there in the world, I think that's their sweet spot. And I don't think the companies out there know that. Let me see here. A lot of people, I guess, don't see that. Looks like North Carolina to me. Hey, my friend. No, North Carolina is great. Yeah, I live in the woods. It's kind of similar country, but I live a little bit closer towards the ocean. So, but I know what you're saying, my friend. Let me see here. Somebody said something about snakes. Oh, reptiles. Silent Night says, "Greetings, Ben. Any reptiles?" Of course, we have reptiles. Um, we don't have alligators as much as some places. We don't have too many swamps like the bayou, but if you're not careful, you can run into really alligators. I think it's alligators, not crocs. I forget. There's a difference between the two. But anyways, my grandpa used to own an awful lot of land with real cypress trees. I don't know if y'all have seen what real cypress trees. Everybody talks about sycamore as a great fragrance, and I encourage people to see and try to Google and learn about the fascinating world we're in, where there's so many fascinating things, and people don't know what sycamore is. They haven't seen cypress, and they haven't seen any of these trees. I mean, it's really difficult to maybe travel around the world, but you can still Google these things and see what they look like. Cypress trees grow in the water. They're actually trunk heavy. It's kind of like an iceberg. You see the tree coming out of the water, and the roots in the water are huge. The base of the tree is absolutely massive. And to me, I remember going out there, and I could just in the water. there would be a break, and there would be these huge ponds, and you could just see acres of cypress trees, and it was a beautiful thing. And I've seen cypress wood, I felt its texture, and there's so much beauty in the world. It's a really fun thing. Juniper and all those. There's so many wonderful trees as well. Anyways, Robes Wait has the most impressive collection I've seen. Yeah, some of the guys out there have amazing collections. It's just absolutely crazy. It's crazy how much some of you guys have. Y'all been collecting for years. Y'all have good noses. Y'all seek out amazing things. I don't know if y'all watch a guy called Raj. Raj out there is a fantastic kind of wild guy. He's got his own personality going on, and you got to check him out too. But I can never say his full name. It's like Raj Deep Blue something something, and he's a really interesting guy. He really is, and he has some exclusive stuff I've never seen anybody ever talk about or mention. He gets on lives. He has a smaller channel, kind of like me. You got to check out that guy too. But Robes, yeah, Robes is in the game for sure, and that's you, Robes. Talking about, I respect that. Talking up yourself a little bit, a little on the shoulder. I can respect that, my friend. Yeah, you have an amazing collection, and thank you so much, Robes, for stopping in. I almost got distracted there. I didn't even almost didn't notice for a second that it was you. I was like, Robes is talking about robes. Thank you, Robes, for stopping by. I appreciate both of you guys, and you smells good. Both of you guys are awesome, and of both of you guys, we can tell. I don't want to bash any other fragrance creators or fragrance lovers, but we can kind of tell who's more involved with other people in the fragrance community who want to really build a sense of community and who are really curious about fragrances. You can tell some are in the game for fragrances and truly love fragrances, and you can tell that some are not, don't so much. But we all have different styles and we have different ways of going about things. But I appreciate you guys. We have some wonderful fragrance people in the fragrance world. So let me see here. Lowell Robes Robes has more Lamal than anyone possibly needs. Does he have backup bottles of Lamal? If you're Robes, I do want to hear your opinion real quick. I remember back in the day reading about Fleur de Mal or Jean Paul Gaultier Le Fleur or something like that. It was in a white bottle. A lot of people were hating on it for the longest time, and then it got really cheap, and I was very, very tempted to buy a bottle. For the longest time, I almost did buy a bottle, but I heard so many negative reviews, I didn't buy a bottle, and I wanted to hear what you thought about that fragrance. I don't remember seeing your review. I'm sure you do have a review, but just let me know what you think about that fragrance. There's two concentrations of it. Oh my goodness. I don't I don't know if I made a good choice, if I made a bad choice. I'm sure it's discontinued at this point. I'm sure it's worth like $150 or something crazy. Um, Let me see here. Silent Night says looks and sounds idyllic. I don't know what that means. Robes Away says one bottle of Lamal is left in the collection. I'm dangerously low. Is it? Do you mean the original? Is it the original vintage formulation? Um, I appreciate you, Ben. Eugene is okay. Oh my goodness, we're taking shots already at each other. Oh my goodness. Yes, Fleur, there's two concentrations. Fleur de Mal is powdery orange blossom floral, but discontinued. Exactly. And that's one reason I was so kind of torn because everybody was saying bad things about it and I wanted to try it and it wasn't at my local mall. I had no way besides blind buying it to ever try it. And those kinds of notes are not for me. I really don't like powdery. Orange blossom is hit and miss. I don't like white florals, so I guess it was the better choice not to buy it. So, flora is exactly what fleur means. Highly floral. Yeah, exactly. What Eugene said. He's a good source. Exactly. Y'all are awesome. Hitting it up. Anyways, um, what other fragrances have been on y'all's minds? What have y'all been trying? I don't know if y'all saw my video about fragrances I want to try or buy in 2020. I still haven't gotten to try it, but I really want to try Corpse Reviver by Bruno Fazzolari. And there's so many brands and so many things I want to try. There's a couple of the Giorgio Armani's Privé line I really want to try too. So when I visit Mark, all the Lamal atomizers will disappear. Oh, we're gonna get some sneakiness. Get in there. It says, what do you think about YSL Opium EDT? You can use that all year long. Glad you are okay and keep going. Thank you, Stella. It's really funny. I don't remember trying that fragrance, but funny enough, I don't know how many vintage formulations or how many versions there are of that fragrance. But funny enough, my dad recently I saw that he bought a bottle of that one, so I'll do a review of that one, and I'll be able to give you more of a real opinion on it. I don't remember it too much, but it's supposed to be kind of an aromatic, as far as I remember with the notes. But anyways, I don't have too much of an answer. I'm sorry, but thank you for the encouragement. Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Y'all can tell that sometimes, you know, I get stressed. I have that kind of personality. Sometimes I get stressed and busy, and I kind of show it on my face. I don't hide things too well. I'm the kind of person usually my emotion is shown through my face. So a lot of times people, people tell me that they can read me like a book, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. Anyways, I want to try Percy Nobleman's signature. I haven't tried that one. I haven't heard of that one. But sounds nice. There's a lot. There's so many fragrances out there. It's almost impossible to keep up. Incense says I recently sampled Tom Ford Costa Azura and Invictus Legend that both smelled good. I love Tom Ford Costa Azura. I really do. But the problem is the longevity. It's a Tom Ford private line that costs like $300 odd, and the darn thing lasts like 3 or 4 hours. It smells so nice. It's one of my favorite aquatics, but I'm not a millionaire. I can't I can't guiltlessly spray a, it doesn't last very long, so I'd want to spray like the whole bottle in like one summer, and I don't have that kind of money just to blow. But it's a wonderful fragrance. Costa Azura, I think, is one of the best aquatics out there. Everybody talks about Bergamot 22 and stuff like that, and I'm over here like in Costa Azura land, and some of the Hermes land, like the Un Jardin sur le Nil and the Mediterranean, and over there, like, to me, I have a hard time with aquatics. Maybe if Robes or You Smells Good is still in the house, they can let us know of some real deal aquatic fragrances that are nice. I have a hard time with designer aquatics. I don't like too many of them, but I do have. I am going to showcase some of them. You're gonna get summer fragrances for sure. They're out there, but I just have a hard time with them. They just aren't for me. I tend to like more of the richer scents, the deeper scents, well rounded. Tobaccos, coffees, patchoulis, more of the fall winter scents. That stuff is more for me. Let me see here. And what was? Oh, what'd you say? Invictus Legend. I don't think I've tried Legend yet. I'm not sure if I have. To me, all the Invictus line kind of blends together. The Invictus Aqua, I didn't feel like it was dramatically different from the original. It was a little bit fresher. It was a little bit more marine-like, I guess you could say. But Legend, I'm not sure. And they have the new one in like the marble. There's like it's like a stone bottle, and supposedly it smells about the same. I do like the presentation on that one. I like that marbled look, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, if you were to drive her crazy video, what fragrance would be in the thumbnail? Oh my goodness, drive her crazy, huh? Um, I don't know why. And if y'all watch my channel, if y'all know my channel, y'all probably know that a fragrance for some reason that drives ladies crazy, in my experience, has always been Mugler's Pure Tonka. If I can find something that's kind of like has a dark patchouli and a dark chocolate, or anything on me with my personality, I can, even though I'm very friendly and I'm very forward with y'all, I can, especially in public, if I'm not talking to anybody, if anybody doesn't know me, I'm a little bit of a stoic. I can just like stare off into space, and I can just start thinking. And then some people are like, or, "What are you doing? Are you trying to make a pose or something?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just thinking." So I have that personality. So dark chocolate style fragrances always work for me. They drive ladies crazy. So Mugler's Pure Tonka is definitely one for me. Or any of those scents. I'm always on the lookout for a new dark chocolate fragrance. But another one that for some reason does pretty well around here. It's discontinued now, but it's that Ferrari Umo. It's not a high quality fragrance. It's not anything particularly special. To me, it smells somewhat similar to Dior Fahrenheit, and that's one reason that ladies just love it. A lot of ladies around where I live, a lot of guys are more traditionally masculine, and a go-to fragrance for a lot of guys is Dior Fahrenheit. It's upscale, it's classy, and it smells rugged, and it smells very bold and confident. And ladies around here respond to that. So anything that's similar to Dior Fahrenheit or something like that works really well. I thought it was really funny. I was wearing Ferrari Umo one time, and somebody asked like, "Does you smell like something my boyfriend used to wear?" And I could tell it had an emotional reaction on her. And I was like, I'm a frag head, so I'm like, was it Dior Fahrenheit? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, and she was like, didn't she was like shocked. She was like, how'd you know? And I'm like, I kind of know fragrances, and I thought it was really funny. But fragrances can have big effects on people with memories and stuff, and that's crazy. Um, I hope that answered your questions. I've done some date night fragrances. I've done some, top 10 kind of seductive fragrance videos in the past. There's go-to ones. Everybody knows La Nuit de L'Homme and CH Men Privé probably at this point. If at least if you watch YouTube videos, you probably know about those two. There's a number of them out there. One day I'm gonna, once I save the money, I'm gonna buy a darn bottle of Pardon by Nasamato. That's on my buy list, guys. And Black Tie Affair by Alexandra is darn good. It doesn't smell the same to me as Tuxedo by YSL. It smells a bit different. Um, Anyways, Incense says, believe it or not, one of the best compliments from a girl wearing Nautica Voyage. She said she was going to buy it for her boyfriend. That Nautica Voyage is a big compliment getter. When I first started my channel, I talked about it all the time. I know some people don't like it. It's not the most mature fragrance. It's not the most elegant fragrance. It's not the most highly composed fragrance or anything like that, but it smells like quality. Somehow, with the synthetics, it does smell well rounded, and it does smell of good quality to my nose and a lot of people's noses. I don't wear the fragrance anymore, but it is one of the fragrance I might be able to wear. It's just not my vibe. It's good. It smells like good quality, though. I don't know how they pulled it off. But for 20 odd dollars, sometimes if they're having sales around Black Friday and stuff, I've seen that stuff like $15. It's amazing how cheap some of that, Nautica Voyage can get. If you want something, if you really just want compliments and you just want to smell good and you want something that you can spray guiltlessly because it's affordable and you're going to get compliments for sure, Nautica Voyage is that go-to fragrance. For me, I've always recommended it towards the younger guy in middle school, high school, and even kind of into early college. Once you graduate college, I think you should get something a little bit higher end or something a little bit more classy. But just going out and about to a park, having fun, being carefree, having a party, just being out with friends, it's a good fragrance. I mean, for some reason, Nautica Voyage works. I got compliments with it too. It works. Ben, I got a decant of kerosene follow. It's really nice. Have you tried kerosene? I'm trying to remember kerosene. It's been so long. I used to try some odd brands like that here and there. No, that's not an odd brand. That's that indie brand that was started by also a fellow fragrance reviewer, isn't it? I haven't. I think there was one called Blackmail. If I'm thinking of the right brand, I think it was Blackmail. That was one I really wanted to try. I haven't tried many of those. I need to get my nose on so many fragrances. There's so many fragrances I want to try, and Kerosene definitely is up there. I think that's the brand that has Copper Sky, and a lot of people talk about Copper Sky. As far as I remember. Anyways, nice brand. I've heard good things about them performance wise. I've never heard anybody really complain about the value for the money or anything like that. So they must be doing something decent or something right. I do want to you just reminded me, I do want to give a shout out real quick to Mr. Oz. I don't know the full story behind his brand, but it looks like he created all of his fragrances himself. And it looks like he's, having some success, but he kind of was making his own brand when everybody else was making their own brand. And not a lot of people talked or heard about him. He's a smaller fragrance reviewer called Mr. Oz, and he started his own brand. So, if you're looking for another brand to check out, a lot of fragrance reviewers are saying his stuff's really good quality. I haven't even sampled or I haven't even tried his stuff yet, but definitely check out Mr. Oz. And I love his videos as well. He's very educated and he knows fragrances pretty well, at least as far as I know. Let me see here. Have you ever smelled Zegna Bright Neroli? You can use Tom Ford Noir Extreme in the summer. Very interesting thoughts, Stella. Very interesting thoughts. Oh yeah, Nautica Voyage is a great cheapie. Yeah, Nautica Voyage definitely has stood the test of time. It's very much worth the money, and for the average guy out there just wanting to smell good and to spend as little money as possible, it's always recommended here. Even though I don't love the fragrance and I don't wear it anymore. It's a good fragrance for sure. Let me see here. Zegna Bright Neroli. I don't remember if I've tried that one. I think I tried the Mediterranean Neroli, or there was one that was like something Mediterranean. I really like the Zegna line. I do think that they are kind of highly priced for their full retail price, the 250 odd dollars. But I guess they're not overtly priced. They kind of have that somewhat of a watery feel, kind of like eucalyptus to me. That's kind of has the same feel, aroma chemical wise, to a new brand that came out called Naomi Paris. It's I wouldn't be amazed that Zegna does a lot better since Creed is been sold out. Again, I did a whole live and I kind of dedicated a whole live to Creed being sold out, and I talked about what I thought the brand should be, what the brand should do, and I talked about what possibly is going to happen with Creed. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for these brands to come through and really show us who they are, and maybe try to take the crown away from Creed, because a lot of people used to put Creed on a pedestal. It used to be kind of, the brand, the niche brand that all other niche was ranked by. And everybody seemed to think, kind of compare fragrances to Creed. It was kind of the gold standard. So I think a lot of interesting things are coming around. And I wish Zegna the best. I bet that's a really nice fragrance, that Bright Neroli. I haven't tried it. I got Peruvian Ambrette for an amazing sale for 50 odd dollars, and it is more of a light, musky, interesting fragrance with Ambrette. But I absolutely love it. I don't know if I'd be happy with the fragrance if it was 250 odd dollars, but for $50, hey, I love the stuff. Um, Anyways, Zegna has, as far as I can tell, has been pretty nice or pretty good overall. I don't know how popular the brand is. I don't know how well they're doing as a company. Not a lot of not a lot of reviewers talk about them particularly or review them. I think some of their discontinued or some of their cheapy fragrances. A lot of people talk about. I think it was Zegna Milan was getting a little bit of talk as, like, I think it was a good fig cheapie. I haven't blind bought that one. I thought about buying it, but I never got around to it. Let me see here. But thank you for the comment, Stella. Noir Extreme is a very light gourmand kind of fragrance. It's very sweet. It kind of has a similar vibe, in one way or another, to the dry down of kind of Herod or kind of Parfum de Marly, like, in my opinion. And that's kind of an odd way to. But if you think about Parfums de Marly, like Leighton, or more like Herod, in my opinion, and the very dry down, like when it becomes a skin scent, to me, that's kind of what you're getting from that Noir Extreme. I suppose you could pull it off on the summer. It is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit closer to the skin, in my opinion. I didn't get good performance from Noir Extreme, even though it's called Noir like night, and it says it's extreme. um, but you could probably get away with a summer night. It might be a little bit too sweet for the summer days, but if you're in an air conditioned environment, if you're in the office, that probably is the best gourmand for the summer. And that's a really interesting thought, Stella. Jared says, if we're talking about cheap freshies, Bath and Body Works has a Invictus Aqua 2016 clone called Atlantic. Pretty good. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to give it a chance. I'm usually pretty picky on stuff. I'm sure it smells good, and everybody has different taste. I've never been able to enjoy something from Bath and Body Works personally, but everybody has different stuff that they like for different prices. There's a lot of people out there in the world that love body sprays from Bath and Body Works and other brands, and they love just to freshen up and smell good for a short little while. The celebrity fragrances are kind of that way too, to some degree. Anyways, Robes Await says, "See you, Ben. Just wanted to show support, but the Habs are playing now." Well, Robes, I wish you the very best. Thank you so much for stopping by, showing support. Robes Await, we know that you love the fragrance community. We know that you're trying to build up the fragrance community and you care about everybody, and that means a lot. Again, I'm not trying to criticize or tear any of the other big reviewers down, but we can tell that you come down and you say hello to other fragrance reviewers. You try to build everybody up, and you care about people, and I think that makes a big difference. And I hope that other people will try to build that trend. I've done shout out videos, and I try to build up people too. And I hope that that kind of influence, or that kind of friendship kind of becomes more of a thing in the fragrance community. I've always felt like we've never been close as a fragrance community, and I've never felt like we're well connected. With fragrance reviewers, I've always felt like we have different families and different groups of fragrance lovers, and kind of building their own little fragrance families. Like here, we're the Centaur fragrance family, but I hope that we all become a little bit more interconnected. So thank you for the work you're doing, Robes08. I think that means a lot. And recently he did a shout out video to lady reviewers to help find or encourage lady reviewers who really truly review fragrances, instead of doing some of the top 10 list and doing some of the things that will, I don't know, get the YouTube algorithm to like you. Um, I think that was an amazing thing. That was really nice. Stella Moon says, I paid $50 for Bright Neroli, and $100 for Noir Extreme. Thanks for your explanation. Well, you got an amazing deal on that Bright Neroli. If there's still any bottles available, please let me know where to buy one. Because I think those Zegna fragrances that were worth 250, they were being liquidated, and if you were lucky and if you looked at the right times and the right places, you could find some of them for 50 odd dollars. So that's just amazing. By the way, sometimes brands do get liquidated, and I think it's always fun to jump on some of those deals. Sometimes you don't get the warranty, which is a big deal with some brands, and you don't get support. Like if a part breaks, I don't know if y'all care about tools, or if y'all. This is really random. This is a fragrance channel, but if you want some really decent deals on just like a beat up, hardworking knife, if you're an outdoors guy, there's a brand called Bastion. It's Bastion, and I think that they might have recently went under. You can find a lot of decent knives on eBay for 30 odd dollars. I'm not affiliated with them. Please, nobody, don't do some kind of conspiracy theory. I'm not involved with them at all. I wanted one of their knives, and I held back for the longest time. And I thought about buying one recently, and I went back, and they no longer have sheaths available for a fixed blade. I'm like, why am I gonna buy this if it's a fixed blade and I don't have a sheath? And the sheath was really the part of the reason why you bought it, because it was a Kydex, and it was Molly compatible. I don't know if y'all care about that stuff. Anyways, let's get back to fragrance. Let me see. Have you smelled Zara fragrances? They have some good clones. My friend Stella, I thank you for asking me that question, but I don't live anywhere near Zara. I've never smelled any Zara fragrances. I'm very sorry about that. Zara fragrances seem to be getting a lot of talk and a lot of love, just like Armand fragrances are, because they're very affordable. They're affordable alternatives to a lot of fragrances. I have no doubt that some of them are worth the money and some of them smell great, especially at the discounted market where you can find some of them for close to 20 odd dollars. I'm sure that there are some good Zaras. But for me personally, we all have a different fragrance journey. We all have a different a focus in fragrance. We all have a different passion. And I kind of am leaning more on the indie side lately. And I don't have the budget for it, but I do or lean more towards niche these days. I think there's so many fascinating fragrances, and a lot of Zara fragrances are clones or adaptations of other fragrances, and they're very mass appealing. And they do, and I'm not bashing them. I'm not putting anything against them. A lot of people out there just want to smell good for a good price. They want to smell great and get a bottle of fragrance for $20. And I have nothing against Zara. I think they're a great alternative, and they fit a need for a lot of people. If you just want a casual fragrance, carefree, if you don't want to worry about wearing a difficult fragrance to wear that might offend people, or wearing a fragrance that is very expensive or maybe draws a lot of attention in a very provocative way, Zara and some of those other brands are really nice for people. I really want to try Lush fragrances as well. I don't live anywhere near a Lush. There's a lot of brands and a lot of things out there in the world. For the most part, me living more out in the country, like I do out here in the woods, I usually have bought decants from places like Twisted Lily, which sadly shut down recently, and I used to buy a lot of decants from Lucky Scent, but I've slowed down a little bit here recently, but I still buy Discovery Scents here and there. Um, but let me catch up with the comments. Got to finish homework. Thanks for the video, Ben. I'll see you, Jared. Where are these Zegna liquidators? Any websites? Callie says. Well, the time I got my amazing deal on Peruvian Ambrette, there was a few bottles left. I think it was Fragrance by CA. I probably shouldn't tell all y'all my little secrets, and I guess it's not a big secret, but Fragrance by CA is another very reputable gray market seller, just like FragranceNet, and a lot of people don't know them. You have to buy like a certain amount, like 75 or $100+ to get free shipping, and sometimes you can wait around for their free shipping and 10% off deals if they still have those anymore. But that's how I got my 24 gold oud edition. 24 gold just in general is an amazing designer, sweet kind of gourmandish oud fragrance, and it's an amazing fragrance for the money. And a lot of people used to talk about it in the United States, and for some reason, it's gotten really hard to find in the USA. I don't know how available that fragrance is anymore. I don't know if it's been discontinued, but Fragrance by CA has it, and they have a number of fragrances. Sometimes that that FragranceNet simply doesn't have. But FragranceNet actually has a number of high-end niche fragrances at discount. If you know what you're looking for, like the Amouages. Sometimes they even have Creeds if you still care about Creed. Guys and ladies and gents, because Creed sold out, there's no doubt that they're going to change as a company. A lot of people, for some reason, aren't talking about it, or they're suggesting that there's not going to be many changes. If you do love Creed, if you do care about them, and you do have a certain fragrance that you like, you probably want to buy it sooner than later, because I don't know if the prices will go sky high crazy. It probably will with Aventus, but likely, some of these fragrances might go up in price. If you truly love any of these batches or how they smell now, you want to buy it now because things are going to change. You don't want to wait before something happens like Dior Homme 2020 and your fragrance is quite different from what it used to be. So I encourage y'all to get out there and try and and stay on the trends. Let me see here. But thank you so much for being here, Jared. Incense says most Zaras are mass appealing, but the performance is not good on them. I couldn't attest to good performance or bad. I've always heard that they just have average or acceptable performance, but I don't know. Maybe they have bad performance. I'm I'm not really a snob for I don't know, fashion. I'm not even a big fashion person. I'm wearing like I think this is a Columbia jacket, and it was actually being discontinued, and I've had this for like 7 years, and I haven't beat it up or scratched it too much, but it's water repellent. It's comfy. I like it. I like the collars like this, and for some reason, a lot of people feel like having big collars like that's really provocative or fancy or something. So I've always liked the jacket. I'm just making this as an example. But so I don't really stay up on trends. Zara is kind of like a copycat brand as far as I know, fashion wise, and a lot of people claim that they're not very ethical, which I don't. I'm not sure how if I feel if I'm against that or I don't really know what they do. But I've just heard bad things about Zara, and I'm not. I don't live anywhere near a Zara store, so I don't know. I don't know what I probably would think their fragrances aren't very natural, but I'm not sure what I'd think about them. Anyways, I'll try them someday. Maybe when I get to travel sometime soon. In December in New York, where Estee Lauder has an office, they make a sell for charity, and that is why I paid that price. Well, you found a fantastic fragrances, Stella. You made some great deals, made some great pickups. Hopefully, I'll be able to find some kind of great sale like that sometime soon. How good is Dior Homme? Oh, I mean, is it mass appealing scent or is it easy to pull off? I feel like it's very easy to pull off. To me, it's not heavy on the lipstick. If you're very sensitive to iris, if you absolutely dislike any possibility of lipstick vibe whatsoever, I think that a good way to go is probably the Prada El Homme. To me, I get a little bit better performance out of the Dior Homme O. it just smells a little bit better. It smells a little bit more natural. The quality smells a little bit better to me, and it does have a tiny bit of a blue vibe. It's very mass appealing. If you do like that one, if it sounds good, I probably would recommend you go sample it, or if not, just buy it. Because I wouldn't be. It's getting hard to find, and I think it's been discontinued. I don't think the price on that was going to go crazy. It was one of the Dior own fragrances that just didn't get a lot of talk. It didn't get a lot of love particularly. I don't know why, because it was a little bit more mass appealing. It was a little bit easier to wear. And as far as a fragrance that it's not an aquatic, but it almost smells like an aquatic, it has pretty good longevity. It's probably because more of the musk and the aroma chemicals and whatnot, but it's a nice fragrance. It smells good. I like it better than the Prada El Homme personally, but if it gets discontinued and if the prices go sky high, I probably am going to let somebody else have it. That's how it is, my friends. Because I can buy something I think that, get a better fragrance for less. Um, Hi, how is Dior Homme? Anyways, yeah. Hopefully I helped you there. Yviz Indy. I don't know how to say that. Jared Cortana gives me 199. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. I appreciate that. You didn't have to. Thank you. I don't ask for those kinds of things, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jared, you're awesome. Dossier's cologne sell like kind of clones. Dossier is probably how you say it. Of mass appealing colognes for $29.99. I have looked at Dossier before. I was tempted to try one or two, but I've never blind bought any of them. Um, for me personally, I mean, it's great to find a clone of a mass appealing fragrance, but they make fragrances, I think they're clones of things like Aqua di Gio and things that aren't too expensive, things you can find on the gray market. So if I'm not wrong, if I don't remember wrong, I think, I don't know why, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I could buy Aqua di Gio, or something like that if I wanted to, but I guess Dossier probably has better longevity. Maybe they improved the formulations. I'm not sure what they've done. For me personally, again, I'm looking more towards indie and niche. If you want a something that smells great and mass appealing, and isn't too hard on the budget, please check out a French brand called Caramel Belle. It's next on my wish list, and I might actually buy it soon. I've definitely been staring at it for a couple days. It's a fragrance called Iode. It's a marine fragrance. It's a very well done marine fragrance, and it has a dry down of this really airy, very nice, interesting amber kind of quality to the fragrance. And they have a concentrate version, and it's 50 mils, like an extract version, for 70 odd dollars. So you're going to get a really nice, long performing aquatic fragrance for the upcoming summer. It's going to be a little bit more unique, a little bit better quality. It's not super high end niche. It's $70 for 50 mils. So, if you bought two bottles, I'd be around the $140 range. But it's still really nice. It smells a lot better than Bergamot 22, at least in my opinion. So, um, message retracted, Randy. What were you telling me? What is your favorite Andy Tower? Y'all are going to think I'm absolutely crazy here. And let me know, is the light bothering you? I can try to turn everything around to face the light if y'all want me to. Anyways, Andy Tower question. My friend, Andy Tower is a brand I have tried a little bit of, but not too much. I think I've tried three odd fragrances from them. Of course, I had to get my nose on the Eau Desert. I'm going to butcher it. It's like Eau de Desert Marocain. That one, the Heart of the Moroccan Desert, I think it is. Um, it was very nice. A lot of people consider it a masterpiece. It's a very well done fragrance. I need to spend more time with it for me to understand how good it is. I thought it smelled nice and very good, but it was kind of like a slightly like a dry powder to me, which it's usually something I avoid. But the quality and the smell is great. But I haven't looked at the prices recently, honestly. But I do remember Lone Star Memories was a little bit too animalic for me, even though it had leather to it. Lone Star Memories was a little bit too odd. And I did get to try the regular Eau de Desert. There's the Marocain. I don't know which one came first, the Eau de Desert or the Eau Coeur de Desert Marocain. I'm not sure which one came first. Anyways, the regular one without the Marocain smells more like a completely different fragrance. It smells like a heavy, dense, slightly spiced, leather fragrance. And I absolutely love leather, so I was in love. I'm infatuated, and really want about a bottle of that fragrance. I think it actually beats out Destier by House of Matriarch for me. For the longest time, I really wanted a bottle of I don't even know if that's how you say it, Destior, by House of Matriarch. That one's supposed to capture the smell of like a stable and horses and medieval times, and I just love leather so much. But to me, that Eau de Desert is something special. I kind of been holding back because I already have my leather oud by Floris, but I might still have to get it. It might be a little bit of a redundant purchase, but I might just have to get it one day. I should keep an eye out. I should see if anybody's going to sell it on the cheap. If any of y'all don't like your bottle, sell it to me. Anyways, I hope I answered your question. It's another house that I just don't have a lot of access to, but I've tried a few of them. I think I've tried maybe another, but I don't remember what it is right now. Maybe you can jog my memory. Anyways, have any more questions for me? Any more suggestions? I'm sorry that I haven't been able to build on your conversations. Y'all are telling me about Zara. Y'all are telling me about Mercedes Benz and some of these other cheapies, and I'm just over here and I haven't gotten to try too many of those so far. So I'm sorry, my friends. Let Ask me anything. Ask me questions, and I'm here for you. Anyways, if y'all don't give me anything, we're gonna talk a little bit more about fragrance ingredients. We're gonna talk about fragrance oils. That's what I have today. I brought out some stuff just a little show y'all. Every time I come out here, I feel like I'm on a show and tell. I'm like, hey, look what I got. I got essential oils, and I got a book. I just ordered a bunch of really high quality essential oils from I think it's a brand called Plant Guru. I gotta see before I can recommend them to you. Please don't go out there and just buy them. Their fragrances, I mean, their prices almost seem too good for what they are from a certain seller I found. Their prices almost seem too good to be true. But I looked at their website, I looked at what they're going for, and it looks like reputable. I like their motto, and everything checks out for me. So I'll let y'all know if that's some of the real deal, really good quality essential oil for diffusing. And I'll be getting a diffusing video for y'all in the future. And y'all know my documentary series I was doing a while about incense. I'm going to pick up that in the future. I have, maybe later in the year. And incense as well with diffusing. I love fragrance of all sorts, from cooking, oils, incense, and all those kinds of things. So sorry about that. Anyways, let me know. What do y'all care about essential oils? Do you diffuse essential oils? Is that something you care about? If any of y'all suffer from eczema, I'll probably do a video about this right here. This is one of the things that really surprised me. You can mix, I think it's 2 parts aloe vera to 1 part jojoba oil, and mix it together and make like a salve. It's like this interesting white slime, and your skin will absorb it and it'll heal you. And in my opinion, this is what people should be doing for face masks and all kinds of other things for like skin remedies. You see all these ladies putting like weird synthetic cucumber gel that they brought from the store. It's like, this is the all natural stuff. This is the kind of stuff people did back in the day. For health, remedies, people used to wash their hair with like eggs and like other stuff that might seem very strange these days. But I love how, there's natural ways to go about things. Yeah, I diffuse lemongrass. Lemongrass is beautiful. I love cypress as a smell. Cypress is one of my most beautiful, wonderful things. I love myrrh. Of course, everybody knows about frankincense. And y'all saw that I was playing around with frankincense a lot. And there's a lot of interesting stuff. Let me see if I can't find one that I can share with y'all. Let me see. Says orange leaf. This is kind of one reason I love fragrance so much, is the natural aspect. At least if you get natural ingredients. Orange leaf here is interesting, because usually we hear about the orange blossom or we hear about neroli, and if you don't know, I don't remember it exactly, but there's 2 different ways to process it. Look into how it's processed. One, steam distillation, and one is like through oil, like dissolving it naturally. And that's orange blossom in 2 different ways. But it's the same ingredient, but it's a completely different smell with how it's created and how it's treated. I saw that people jumped off. I'm talking about essential oils, and people are running away. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not talking about fragrance. Maybe I'll stay tuned. I'll do a live. I don't know if I'll do it a live. I'll do a video. I'll tell you all my giveaway and everything soon. Anyways, this says orange leaf fosters a positive attitude. Interesting. And oil, and it says generates joy and a hopeful spirit. So they like to talk about some of the things that these oils can help you do. I really do think that some of these, to some degree, some of these things are true. Whenever I've used sage, especially around people who are confused or dizzy, or people having like panic attacks or something, sage is a wonderful oil for those kinds of things. Um, Let me see here. Black pepper, it can give you a little bit more energy, and kind of revitalize you. I haven't tried valerian. I'm just flipping through some of these things. Cardamom. We all know cardamom, don't we? It's that big part of La Nuit de l'Homme with YSL. If you haven't seen what cardamom looks like, get into the world of spices, everybody. That's what cardamom looks like. They're seed pods, and it's used in spices, and it's used in cooking in the Middle East. And I love stuff like that. It's an essential oil. Encourages, I think it says adventures and all kinds of things, and there's all kinds of different ways to use these things. If you ever have a stomach ache, make yourself some ginger tea. I can attest that ginger is a wonderful treatment for like stomach kind of issues or cramps or things like that. I think lavender helps with relaxing. You're very right, lemon. I mean, lavender might be the most famous essential oil of all. Lavender is very good for helping with sleep, making people calm, and helping people to be reassured. It's very nice. I'm just pulling this out because if you're really curious about what goes into fragrances or what, naturals, where they come from and what they are, there's all kinds of fascinating things out there. Spikenard is another one of them. Look into spikenard. Spikenard is an amazing, interesting ingredient, and I haven't bought any of this oil yet, but I need to. It's definitely something I have on my wish list. There's different types of everything. There's Himalayan cedar wood, there's American cedar wood, all kinds of different things out there. Let me see here, anything I can share. They got nutmeg. Some people really hate the smell of nutmeg. I sometimes like it, but it's interesting for sure. Let me see here. Sweet orange gives a lot of energy. It like makes people energetic. Sweet orange is really cheap too. I have a lot of sweet orange. Let me see. Have y'all ever? I think there was a comment. I like lavender and men's fragrances. It's one of my favorite notes. Lavender is very beautiful, for sure. If you haven't given, what was that fragrance? Arabians. There's a new version of it called Arabians Tonka by Montal. But try the regular Arabians, the one that came first. It has one of the most beautiful lavenders I've ever smelled in a fragrance before. It's just beautiful. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it. It's not a scary fragrance to wear. It is a little bit leathery, but don't be scared of the horse on the front. Montals sometimes can be kind of scary, but that Arabian's fragrance isn't oudish and it's not particularly heavy on the leather. So I think it's worth a try, worth a sniff, especially if you go to a boutique or anything like that. So there's some wonderful lavender fragrances out there for sure. Anyways, have y'all heard about yarrow? Yarrow is really fascinating. For some reason, it changes. Let me see here. Yarrow is blue because it contains a compound called azezuline. So the liquid actually from the oil becomes blue. I didn't know that. I looked that up one time. I was like, what? And I just think the nature and the world behind thing is so beautiful. Y'all know that the stain, the dye that we used to make our blue jeans out of was made out of indigo. That's why indigo blue, that word, that's where that comes from. And there's a fascinating world behind everything. The color yellow used to traditionally come from turmeric a lot of the times. Turmeric, it can stain stuff like nobody's business. If you've ever cooked with turmeric, if you've ever been around turmeric, you got to be careful, especially with white clothes. Turmeric will stain real quick. And I think red dye was made out of a certain type of bug. It's There's a wonderful natural world behind fragrance and behind things, and it certainly is fascinating, my friends. Anyways, I just encourage y'all to get into some oils. If you want a little bit of better health, maybe you have acne, maybe you just have a health condition. I'm not pretending like this will be a miracle cure. I'm not trying to sell you snake oil, but get out there and try some of these things and benefit your life. There's a world of nature. Before we had modern Western medicine, we had these kinds of things, and people knew about these things. And most medicines these days are derived from a concentrated form of ingredients. I think it's aspirin is a synthetic form, at least of I think it's wintergreen or some kind of mint. These a lot of these compounds and these things that exist in the world in your fragrance and maybe even in your medicine are in the world around you. So it's just fascinating. And of course, I always encourage y'all to get new spices, try out new foods, and eat a good variety of foods for your health. I think that we far too much eat these foods that are, mass produced and the same old, same old. I'll never forget when I went to college. I've always been a person who likes to cook, and I've always tried to find new things. And I had roommates who were shocked that I would buy some. I would try to find something a little bit different at Walmart. At one time they had these exotic mangoes that were like small. They were like little mangoes that were like half the size, and they were super sweet. But they wouldn't want to buy them because they'd never seen them before, and they thought they were scary. And they thought there was only like one type of potato and one type of onion and one type of tomato, and there's like 100 or hundreds of different types of potatoes, hundreds of different types of tomatoes and corn, and there's all the different other types of things out there in the world. It's fascinating. And there's things that are regional, and there's the beauty of flowers as well. There's regional wildflowers of different places, and birds and bugs and everything. There's so much to see. My cabinets are yellow from turmeric stains. Jared says, "Oh, do you cook a lot with turmeric? What do you like to cook? That's fascinating." And turmeric can stain something. Turmeric can stain something like nobody's business. And I just think it's fascinating because you can probably look through one of these books and you probably can see one of these things that'll become a trend in a couple years. Like avocado oil is in here. Avocado oil is getting super popular for, blending with salads and making your own homemade salad dressing out of and those types of things. And it's like a lot of people forever knew about that. And I think it was ylang ylang, or maybe it was another type of flower, and they used to throw it inside their clothes when they were washing it to fragrance their clothes. It's like people have known about some stuff for like forever, and I don't know. I think it's amazing. I think it's fascinating. Let me see here. I just mix it in water and drink it with ginger. Yeah, turmeric's really healthy for you too. A lot of people talk about turmeric a lot. Anyways, I think we might have a bat or some funny bird over there. Anyways, I did want to show y'all this as well before we went. I could probably use this in a whole nother episode, but if you've never seen a mortar and pestle, I'm going to show y'all mortar and pestle tonight. You never know what you're going to get on the Scentatar Fragrance channel. This is called, I think this is the mortar and this is the pestle, and you simply use this to like grind spices. And I had to learn myself. I think it's better to like press and twist, because if you just try to smash something, things can fly out, especially if you're dealing with hard things like incense. I was using to crush this incense into dust to try to put it in my oil so it would, of course, dissolve a little bit faster, and I would get a little bit better results. Y'all know that I'm trying to figure out how, or just have fun and experiment with making my own oils. So that's something I'm very passionate about, and I've been buying different kinds of frankincense from all around the world. I recently found one called frankincense Katari or Katari. There's different frankincense as well. There's many different types of frankincense, and Katari is a little bit citrusy. It's very happy and it's very uplifting. And if you ever get the chance, please try frankincense Katari. I think you'll like it. I think you'll love it. Anyways, I hope I haven't bored y'all. There's still 9 people here. I says that's awesome. I want to buy one of those. Yeah, mortar and pestles are great. They're also great for spices. If you buy spices in big pieces, like cardamom. If you buy the cardamom in the seed pod and you want to make it into a powder to use with cooking, this is great. And a lot of people buy pre-bought spice blends. Some of them are high quality. I bought one recently and I found it, and it's the real deal stuff. They don't cheat you, and they sell you a real product, and darn good product for the money. But a lot of people are buying pre-made spice blends. It's not hard to make a spice blend, and you can make something higher quality, something a little bit more to your taste. Change it up a little bit more salt, a little bit more this, less spice, more onion powder, less onion powder, more garlic powder. We like garlic over here, at my house. So, anyways, my friends, you could it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time, and you actually save a lot of money if you decide to jump into this. But some people don't want to be arts and crafty, and some people have different priorities. Some people are into sports and they dedicate their life to sports or the Olympics, or all kinds of different interests. Some people have all kinds of different lifestyles. Some people do rock climbing for a living, and I'm over here. I can't imagine that. I'm like, you want to climb and go straight up this dangerous cliff in a desert for the rest of your life, and that's what you like to do? I'm over here like, no, that's not for me. And I've tried some of that stuff before, just like skiing. I've seen people ski. I've been to a ski resort one time, and that stuff's not for me. It's in the snow and the cold, and people are flipping around and falling over and all that stuff, and going high speeds. Anyways, that's awesome. I want to buy. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed my video today. Get out there. If you want to buy a book, there's guides, there's YouTube videos. You don't have to buy a book like this. But if you wanted to, this is a nifty little book. This one's by Jenny Harding, The Essential Oils Handbook. You can find a lot of information. Most of this information is available online on YouTube for free. YouTube is a wonderful place. You can learn a lot out there. Adam Barlate, I really like him. I don't know if y'all know who he is. I think he does wonderful work. He talks a little bit more of the mysticism and the spiritualism behind essential oils, but he showcases some very interesting stuff, and interesting as well. If you're interested in perfumery, there's history, there's a lot to learn, and you can buy books about it. This one is called Fragrant, The Secret Life of Scent by Mandy Oftel. And this is a fantastic book as well. Fragrant, and it's by Mandy Oftel. And this is a fantastic book as well. This is a kind of a beginner's fragrance book. You certainly could check this one out, and I think it'd be worth your time if you're a little bit curious, into the fragrance world. If you're a little bit of a curious person, it's a nice little read. But everybody's getting away from books these days. Let me see here. I'm really big into spices for health: ginger, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, turmeric. I take every day. That's fantastic. I love ginger, and y'all know that I love cayenne pepper. I'm down here in the South, so we got that Cajun and Creole cooking. We're not afraid of cayenne, and it's one of my favorite spices as well. So, anyways, I'll let y'all go, my friends. I've been on here for a little over an hour. I don't want to take your whole evening. Sometimes I feel like I'm ranting a little bit. Anyways, I just encourage you to get out there and experience the wild world of natural things. There's a lot of things that are naturally beautiful out there, and admire water and the beauty, or in whatever way you find the world beautiful, whether it be the ocean, whether it be the mountains or the plains. With your cooking, enjoy things. You don't have to. There's beauty in simplicity. You don't have to make things complicated with lots of expensive or odd spices. But do try to eat regionally, eat seasonally. Like around here, like mustard greens are a thing. Those are regional. They're the tops of the greens for the mustard, like for a certain type of plant, and they're called mustard greens. And there's wonderful things out there, and there's so much beauty in it all, and there's so many ways we can improve our health. Try to stay away from going through the routine of TV dinners and eating out at fast food all the time. Make something at your house, and also a lot of people. There's been studies, and there's a big correlation with people eat cooking and their health. And if you're really cooking healthy, natural food, especially with healthy spices, you're going to have a lot better health, and you're going to feel better. I also feel like it's a huge part of community. If you have families, or if you just live with people, if you're around people, I think that cooking is a very social thing, and I think it brings people together. And I think cooking's a very important part of culture, or who we are as human beings as well. And I think that's something that might be lost a little bit to people. in the world these days with the the fast-paced lives and the fast food and all that. And anyways, I want to encourage y'all just to have a happy lives and explore and the beauty that's out there. And I want y'all to have better health as well. I like preventative medicine. I know I'm kind of ranting and getting off topic. I get really bothered by people. A lot of people get distracted and they don't talk about preventative medicine at all. They don't talk about health at all. And a lot of people have the mindset of immediately when there's a problem going to the doctor and just having like a surgery. And a surgery is like a last resort. A surgery is like your last ditch effort to survive if you don't want to die. Surgery is a very extreme thing. It's very expensive, and often your health goes. I mean, it can save you. It can be a miracle, but often your health is never the same it was after a surgery. So, try to have better health, make your health last, and it's not that hard to do it for the most part. I know there's health conditions and there's hereditary things, but um, you know there's a lot we can do. Centurion, your name is cool. Oh, Centurion stopped by. Good night, my friend. Yes, have a good night, my friend. Did see your tag video. I saw your tag and I watched it and I commented. I appreciate you. And yeah, everybody check out Centurion and anybody else. If there was another fragrance reviewer in the house, I'm sorry if I missed you. Oh, Cali Reviews was in the house, and of course Robes and You Smells Good was in the house earlier today, or earlier, later. Anyways, it's too late. Anyways, I'll see you next time, my friends. I wish you the very best. I think I'll be on tomorrow, maybe around the same time, if you want to have another little chat and have some fun out here. So, mate, let me know. Y'all can message me on Facebook or maybe Instagram, and let me know what y'all want me to talk about next time. There's a lot. There's a lot of fun things to talk about. Anyways, I wish y'all the best. Have a fantastic evening. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Wish you the best. Have a good one. And bye, everybody.